Welcome to the Listen to Us Rant About Movies podcast. Let's start the show. Here are your hosts, Wes Ford and Zach Harris.
Thanks for that, Ronnie. I'm Wes Ford.
And I'm Zach Harris.
We rant about movies and drink while we do it. We're back here with a quick follow-up from our last episode. Wanted to squeeze in another movie in there, something Halloween-centric.
Yeah, Halloween
before,
season, celebrate.
It's one of my favorite times of the year. Yeah, So we decided to choose something that was coming out, that was new, a 2020 film, and a sequel. So we're going to be talking about what we've been watching, followed by a review of the Blumhouse production, The Craft Legacy.
Craft.
Tonight, I am drinking a craft. I'm drinking
a craft.
Brooklyn Brewery's Oktoberfest.
Hell yeah. I could not find Brooklyn Brewery's Oktoberfest. It was sold out. So I got the last Oktoberfest they had, which is Spaten.
Very nice.
It's a Spaten Brown, Munich, Germany. So, imported. This is imported here. Look at that.
Well, that's a real Oktoberfest then there. That's what you got there. This is in the style of something like that. So, cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Yep.
Good?
Good stuff.
Yeah, I like mine too. It's tasty.
It's a good lager,
Daddy likes a lager.
Nothing too unique, for this one. I haven't had this one before. Just a good, decent beer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Just a good, decent beer.
Cool.
Just a decent beer.
Yeah, how's yours? You like yours?
Yeah, it's good. What's your percentage?
I think it's only like 5 something.
Yeah, mine's 5.9. Didn't know if you were rocking a banger again.
Mine is 5.5.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be knocking these back.
Hell yeah.
Easy to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we discuss what we've been watching, Ronnie?
This podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/LTURAM. Choose from 180,000 titles from your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now back to you, Wes.
If you like what you hear on this episode, remember you could find others. I'm sorry.
No, keep it going.
Remember you can find other episodes of our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and all other major podcast platforms. And we were just submitted to Amazon Prime, buddy.
Woo!
Amazon Prime podcast. We should be on there soon.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully by this episode as it comes out. But yeah, you can find us pretty much everywhere other than that. And all right, we're going to go ahead and get into our episode. We're going to be talking about what we've been watching. Zach, why don't you start it off?
Well, I have been plowing through the Friday the 13th still. So I think last time I had watched 3, right? Last time.
Yeah, the last one you watched was the third one.
Yeah. So I watched 4, 5, 6. Which I feel like continue in the same trajectory as the other ones. The whole series is a down, up,
Yeah.
I think 4 is my favorite thus far.
Yeah, man.
4 is killer.
4 is great.
And I also really liked 6 a lot. 6 was really good. 4, I think, switches it up enough. Because, after the third one, it's like, okay, spice it up a little. Then it needs a little spicier.
Yeah, get a little spicy.
But the thing I really liked about it was all the stunts. Because, they have the teen aspect, but then there's, the family, the one with the family that lives in the woods. So they have, that aspect, and they're more actual characters, and then there's, also the sort of whoever's that just get killed. But, it seemed like the budget was like way upped, and there were some just like fucking crazy stunts in it. Like people like breaking through glass windows and like falling off like a second floor onto like a car or just onto the ground, where it was cool. And like I feel like I wasn't expecting that, so especially when you're watching them like through one after the other. You love the kills in these movies, but sometimes she's like, all right, a lot of machete action, you know what I mean? So I would rather watch someone like fly out of a window and like actually do the stunt, you know, at this point, than like just something like super brutal, you know. So I really like
sixth one you're talking about, right?
No, I'm talking about the fourth one.
Okay, yeah.
And
that's the last. That's where I left off.
Okay,
and that's one of my favorites too.
Yeah. So that one was really good. 5, definite dip in quality. That one like takes place at like a weird like center for like troubled teens or something in the middle of the woods that is really weird and like just pretty unnecessary. But it does sort of like pick up. It's like Corey Feldman's character like grown up, so it's like starting like a more like linear story, which is kind of cool. But the 6th one just like starts, just fucking gets right going, and just like doesn't stop the whole time. And it's basically just like him just like walking through the woods, just encountering people, which is cool. And there's like a through line story that it's cutting back to, but it really felt different in the way that it wasn't like, hey, we're a group of people, there's gonna be like 3 people that we meet that are weirdos, and then like we're all gonna die. But it was like it would just cut to someone random, and then it's like, how are they gonna like end up, you know what I mean, in this whole like thing,
like in this story.
So I would recommend watching 6 for sure. It's solid.
I definitely need to keep watching.
Yeah. So
that's fun. Cool. That's funny how like it's sort of they each learn from each other. You know?
It's down up. Like the first one,
it's down up.
On the rewatch, the first one is a little underwhelming. Second one, big step up. Third one, step down.
Second one's killer, dude.
Second one's great. Yeah.
Second one's
probably my second favorite. So it's like 4, 2, 6. I would say.
I think mine was 2, 4, 1, 3. That's where I left off.
I'm talking 2, 4, 6, 1. 3, 5. I think 5 is my least favorite.
Okay. Really bad then, huh? Because 3, I remember like, 3 not being great.
Yeah, 3 is not very good, but I do think 5 was the worst of them at this point. Just like, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Like I like where they take it kind of, but the ending is stupid and like, I don't know. It feels like, because they end it with 4, you know, 4 is like final chapter, and then 5 is a new beginning, and it's like a bad start off. Like if 5 just didn't exist, it could just go right to 6, and that'd be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that would be better. You know? Like,
Nice.
So.
Cool, man. Let's see. What can I talk about? I finished a series on Netflix called The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, mostly the same people that made The Haunting of Hill House. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed that one. And I enjoyed this one too, The Haunting of Bly Manor. If you like haunted house type stories, I would say check this out. It was definitely worth my time. I really enjoyed the slow burn. It's definitely a slow burn show, and that doesn't bother me. I actually rather enjoyed that, the slow, steady sort of horror. If you liked Haunting of Hill House, I think you'll like Haunting of Bly Manor. Though I think everyone sort of agrees that the first one's better. Yeah. They don't correlate at all; they're separate stories. But
it's hard to not be compared. It's like a spiritual sequel in a way.
Yeah, The Haunting of Hill House was just so surprisingly good. Like it just sort of came out of nowhere, and it was just like,
oh shit,
this is just pretty good. Okay,
yeah,
great. Cast,
I watched that recently.
Did you?
I didn't see it last year. Okay. I watched that one. It was good.
Yeah,
I slammed it.
And it feels better once you even watch this one. I guess it's like because you were
Yeah.
comparing it.
Mhm.
But that being said, great acting. I thought the story was pretty good, and I like ghost stuff. So I thought
Yeah,
it had
totally.
an interesting dynamic. I guess the rules that they apply for the physics of this world is sort of interesting. Like they make it the very adaptable, like or it's very tangible, I should say.
Yeah.
The ghosts themselves. So I don't know. It had a
That's cool.
unique twist. So I don't know.
Nice.
Worth checking out.
Mhm. Is that another 10-parter, 10 episodes?
I think it's 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's only 8.
I'm just trying to. It's getting close now. I'm trying to prioritize what I can get in.
I
you know
get
what
it,
I mean?
dude, for
And
sure.
it's like, I feel like that one. How Halloween is it? Can I watch this in a few months? Is it like super Halloween?
I feel like it would still be a solid November watch.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
because November you have the bleed. You have the bleed of the horror.
Yeah, a little bleed over.
You have a little
is
bleed
it
over.
Set during the fall? Is it a fall show?
Uh,
Are we talking Auburn tones?
no Auburn. More of probably like pre-winter. It has
Okay.
like It takes place. It takes place in England.
Yeah.
So it's always foggy and dreary. You know.
Mhm.
Anyway, so that's yeah.
Sounds fallish. Sounds
Yeah,
fallish.
it's fallish. I would definitely recommend fall watch, but
Okay.
it's not a it doesn't have to be before Halloween.
Okay.
But yeah, solid November, I would say.
For sure. It's just like if this is a great Halloween watch, maybe I'll start it. At least get
Yeah.
a taste. But if
No, I
not,
think
maybe I got a big stack I'm trying to get through.
yeah. No, I know you got a stack. I'm telling you, could probably hold off till November, but try and catch it before the end of the year.
No, I do want to watch it because
Yeah.
I'd slammed Hill House and I was like, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah. So that.
I feel like I haven't really watched that much else. I guess you watched Borat as well, right?
Yeah,
The new
I was
one?
gonna talk
Yeah.
about that next, so we can talk
we can just
about that together.
Uh-huh.
do you
I
think?
thought it was funny. I liked it.
Yeah.
There's definitely like stretches and stuff, much like there was in the first one, you know, where like there's like voiceover band-aids that like tie the narrative together or whatever.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
overall, like, I mean, I laughed a lot during it. I thought it was really funny. Like,
I definitely laughed my ass off.
yeah.
I don't think it was as strong as the first one.
No.
Like the first one's definitely better. But yeah, no, I kind of I like what he confronts, you know, in this, and
Mm-hmm.
full attack on a certain side of American politics today, you know.
Yeah. Totally.
And you gotta like the guy's comedy. Like he fully engrosses himself into a character and brings out prejudices that they just have already, you know. Like
yeah.
it's
There's
kind
a
of
lot
genius.
of baiting in this one. There's
A
a
lot
lot
of
of baiting. Just to like, and I mean, it's okay. I laugh at it. But like a lot of like trying to get people to like say certain things. But it's like,
But they say
mind-blowing
it.
that They say it. Yeah.
And they
it's just
believe
like-
it, and then he
Yeah.
sort of like eggs them on a little bit more, and they continue.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
some of this stuff is like that people actually believe is just insanity.
Yeah. It's very crazy.
I think most people, the biggest, you know, controversial quote unquote thing from here is the Rudy Giuliani scene,
For sure. Which is insane.
you know what, you can make any excuse you want from that, but and they say it the best, you know, the people who made the movie, they say, you know, it speaks for itself, and I agree with that. You know, it's like,
yeah.
you watch it,
Honestly,
and,
I heard about it and it was worse than I thought it would be.
me too.
Like, they got
Yeah.
him more than I thought. Like, it's
Yeah,
very bad.
My heart was like thumping. I was like, I can't believe this is fucking real.
Mhm.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't think I was particularly, at first at least, I wasn't crazy about the daughter character.
Oh, I really liked her. I thought she was super funny.
Well, at first I wasn't
Yeah.
like super into it. I was sort of like, oh, I want more Borat, you know. But then
Yeah.
she really grew on me though, like
she's
throughout
very
the
funny.
movie, and near the end, I was like, this is hilarious. This is
Yeah.
this is absolutely hilarious.
Mhm. The bit
Turning
where she's
her-
like, why is the sky so low? And she walks in.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Just the whole like the fake nation and their culture is so funny, like, you know.
Mhm. Totally.
how they play on that. And it's, it takes a lot of guts for anyone, but especially like a young actress such as herself to like take on a role like that.
Mm-hmm.
And to go full in, like in public, running around and like acting absolutely insane, like props.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
But I thought she did a great job. Thought she did a really good job.
She was very funny.
And she kind of ends up almost being a more major character. But it sort of makes sense too, because it's like Borat's been around for so long, and they even play into it a little bit, right? Like people recognized him on the street.
Yeah, totally. And I thought that was smart. Like I like that.
Yeah.
And it also gives them a way to like I got a big kick out of all the like funny American like costumes and names that they came up with.
Oh, so funny.
Like they're all great,
So funny. Yeah, good point bringing that up. Yeah, so funny having the different like costumes and characters that look American.
Yeah,
hilarious.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
No, it's funny. That's just you gotta have to laugh because that's where our fucking world is in right now.
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy.
It's brutal. I do think you could tell, and I mean we've already compared it to the first one, but you could tell that Larry Charles didn't make it. You know what I mean?
It felt different.
Like it felt a little different, and it also felt I don't know. I guess it's not that it's not like relevant. It's just like the first one hit at such a time where like the concept very much fit in with like what was happening, and not that it doesn't now, but it's just like when it just felt a lot different, I guess. Like not necessarily in a bad way, but yeah,
it just had a completely different feeling to it. I mean, the other one came out, I don't even know, man, it was a long time ago. It was like over 10 years ago. I think it came out in 2006.
Like, damn. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And the world has changed a lot since then, so
yeah,
it feels different. But I don't know, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I think everyone should check it out, especially if you
apparently
like the first one.
Kazakhstan adapted his catchphrase as their official like tourism thing. Just crazy.
It's really crazy.
Yeah, very weird.
It's funny because he like clearly he like puts on a bit of a fictional spin on like their culture a bit.
Oh yeah, it's obviously like
it's exaggerated.
It's outrageous. Yeah. I was trying to look up who directed it. Sorry. I got a big kick out of the baby bit.
Yeah.
The abortion and stuff. Great.
That was really fun. Really funny.
Fucking great bit.
It's just everything is like you just feel so awkward because you know that they're real people.
Yeah, it's so terrible.
It's so...
And apparently the quarantine thing was like 5 whole days. Did you hear that?
I was curious about that. Did they really do that? Like, was he really quarantined in there?
Yeah, I heard he lived there for 5 days.
In character,
yeah.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. And it's definitely some of the funniest stuff in the movie, like all the coronavirus stuff.
Yeah.
And it's also like the only context where I want to see any like content about that. You know what I mean? Like I just like don't want to like there's shows coming out about it. It's like I do not want to like watch those, but like I did think all the stuff about it in this was really funny.
Yeah.
And like the way they worked it in, because it's clearly like they're in like the middle of shooting or whatever,
Right. Yeah, totally.
Jason Walnier.
I also... Oh, go ahead.
I was just seeing what they directed. I guess the TV director, it looks like. Last Man on Earth, Nathan For You. Oh, they did the Brett Gelman specials. Those were good. Bob and David. Comedy TV director, seems like. I
do know that at the one part, and I hope, we're not trying to spoil the whole movie. You just go fucking watch it. You should have watched it by now if you're listening to this.
Yeah.
But there's a scene where he's like at doing like the concert at the rally.
Yeah, totally.
Supposedly he was like actually terrified to do that, and he wore a bulletproof vest for that scene, and like other scenes too. Like he didn't know how he was terrified. Like
it's crazy.
Rightly so, but
damn, it's pretty wild.
Of course, and hilariously, they loved it. Clearly, this parody.
They bought it.
Yep. All right. Anyway,
it was good.
What else you got?
Not much, man. Oh, I watched UB Halloween.
Oh, what'd you think?
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's not good. No, I watched it anyway. Who cares?
Yeah. I'm so glad you did, dude.
Yeah.
It's UB
We were just
Halloween.
like drinking beers. We're like, what should we watch? I guess fucking UB Halloween,
Amazing. It's exactly what you expect, right? It's just it's absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I got like 5 minutes in. I'm like, oh god, he's doing the voice. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. But I also don't know why I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Like Adam Sandler voice or whatever.
But wasn't the budget surprisingly high?
Yeah, totally.
Like some of the visual effects are like crazy.
Pretty glossy for
right?
What it needed to be.
Seriously.
But yeah,
a lot of stars in it.
Yeah, totally. A lot of like cameos and stuff. I wasn't.
A lot of cameos. Yep.
Yeah. I feel like I had one other thing to say, but I can't remember.
You can't remember?
Yeah, it was what it is. You told me, and I went, "Yep, that's exactly what I expected." And then I watched it. And, yep. There you go.
Yeah, it's a perfect kind of movie to sit back and just like drink some beers and like laugh.
Yeah, totally.
But what else for me? I did some rewatches, some Halloween rewatches. I did. I actually ended up just like popping on Knives Out, and I got hooked. And that's a good movie.
Yeah, it's good.
I rewatched Sleepy Hollow.
Nice.
It's fun. I watched Interview with the Vampire, which I realized I never had actually seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
it's good.
I watched it.
I remember it being good.
I thought it was okay. Okay. It started out strong, and then it sort of like fell apart near the end. Mm-hmm. It was really kind of cool to see Tom Cruise just be like a really evil fucking vampire.
Yeah, totally.
That was really interesting. I rewatched Evil Dead 2. Love that movie.
Great movie. Have you seen do you have the 4K of that?
I don't have the 4K of the second one. No.
I didn't think, I was like, I don't need to upgrade that,
Yeah.
And my old roommate got it, and we watched
like sort of how I feel.
It looks unbelievable.
Yeah.
I was like shocked at how good it looks. We were like, holy shit. Because he bought it, and I was like, I don't know about that,
Yeah.
I feel like, how's it going to look better than the Blu-ray? It's something like that. But honestly,
it looks really good.
Very good. Yeah. Very good transfer.
I
was shocked at how good.
And I rewatched Hocus Pocus, which is worse than I remember.
Yeah, I got the 4K of that.
You're fucking serious?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, Cass wanted to watch it. It was like $14.
It's so bad, dude. It's so bad. It's fun though. It's just like, have you rewatched it lately? Have you watched the 4K?
No, not in the past few. No, I think we're gonna do it on Friday.
Okay, nice. No, it's fun for Halloween. I own it digitally. But it gets good after the first like act. But that first act is brutal, dude.
Yeah, I bet.
Brutal. I want to hear what you think. It's like a student film. It's bad.
Oh yeah, it's like very much like. Okay, was it a theatrical release movie or is it a Disney Channel movie?
I think it was theatrically released.
Okay, I always get confused because I just watched it so much on TV.
I could be wrong,
but like,
I
I
think
feel
it
like
was
it's probably just me connecting with watching it on TV.
Yeah,
and it not being a TV movie.
Well,
but
and it totally feels like a TV movie.
Yeah,
I think it was theatrical.
Like maybe they made a Disney Channel original movie and then went, "Oh shit, this is a little better than normal, but not quite."
Like Halloween Town is a Disney
exactly.
Channel movie. That's a total Disney Channel movie. But Hocus Pocus, supposedly they're making a new one, by the way.
Of course.
Of course. Of course they are.
Fucking sitting here reviewing The Craft right now.
I know. Anyway, after that first act, it gets the witches are the best. That's what makes it fun, and it's a good time. But it's just almost unwatchable, that first act, dude.
Damn.
It's really
I'll brace myself.
It's really bad. All right. Anyway, that ends it for me.
I did a couple rewatches. One that I rewatched Vertigo, and while I didn't dislike it, it was a bummer rewatch.
Really?
Not a huge fan of Vertigo. I feel like I appreciate it. It's good. It looked really good. I got it on 4K. 4K looks very good. But
I bet.
I don't know. I remember that being like, I mean, some people are like, it's his best for sure, you know? And like, I got that 4K box, watched Rear Window, bam, Rear Window, fucking sick. Holds up so good.
Dude, that's a great movie. Did it look good on 4K?
It looked very good on 4K.
Oh my god, I'm jealous. That's
You should
awesome.
pick up that set. It's very nice.
I didn't know there was a set.
Yeah, it's only a few. It's Rear Window, Vertigo, Psycho, The Birds. 4K box. It's like $50 or something.
Those are the ones I'd probably would choose to get on 4K anyway.
Yeah, totally. They're at least the like showier, bigger, you know.
So Rear Window, amazing.
Yeah.
And then Vertigo, not so much. Didn't hold up.
Not so much. Didn't really hold up. I don't know if maybe I just like wasn't in the mood or something, but I was just like, I thought there was just like a lot more to this movie. Just like wasn't super engaging. It's kind of boring, honestly. It just like I wasn't like in on it. I don't know.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so I honestly don't even remember that much about it.
Yeah, I feel like I watched it in like high school when I was like watching all his stuff.
Same. I was around there.
And I was like, yeah, this is sick. But
right
now watching it like back with Rear Window, just like Rear Window is so much better.
I remember watching Rear Window for the first time. I was like, this is incredible.
This so good.
Incredible movie.
Yeah.
Man, I want to rewatch it now.
It's just like a perfect idea, and it's just like so entertaining.
It's so Alfred Hitchcock too. Like it's good.
And it's funny watching Vertigo, and because it opens like the exact same way. It's like Jimmy Stewart talking to like a female lead character in an apartment, talking about an injury he had and recovering. It's just like, wait, what is this? It's just like the same opening scene. It's very weird. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Have you watched Psycho yet?
No, I haven't. I did kind of want to get in. I don't think I'm going to have time, but I wanted to get in a couple of the Psycho sequels. I've never seen them.
I've seen the second one.
Yeah, is it good?
Yeah. I remember it being decent. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only one
curious.
I've seen.
Just like never watched any of them, and then I was like, why is that? I'll watch these shits.
Have you watched have you watched the remake? Like the later remake?
A few years ago I watched it.
It's a remake.
Was not a fan.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, just watch the original.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, cool. Shot for shot remake.
It's like a shot for shot remake. Okay.
Yeah.
The first one's amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
I remember the sequel being decent. You know, it's not Psycho, but it's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there 3 or 4
check it out.
Psychos?
I think there's 3?
There's at least 3, I think.
At least 3.
Yeah. Because I think Anthony Perkins directed one of them. Yeah, I was curious about the sequels, but just never got around to watching Psycho.
I can say worth checking out the second one, from what I remember.
Yeah. Anthony Perkins directed Psycho 3, which is pretty crazy. Oh, there is a Psycho 4. Psycho 4 The Beginning. That's it.
Then, of course, there's the show.
Yeah. Which, did you watch the show?
I think I watched a couple episodes, and I was like, eh.
Yeah, I was not really any interest.
It's just like, I get it. You know?
Yeah.
I get it.
That's true. I saw the movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess real quick, I'll just say also I watched Demons 2, and it's fine wine. Great movie.
Demons 2?
Demons. Have you seen the Demons movies?
Demons. No, I know of them. I need to watch them.
Good Halloween watches.
Yeah.
And honestly, I like 2 way more than the first one.
Really? I know Demons is pretty good.
Demons is solid. But even if you wanted to, just skip right to 2. Just watch 2. It's just the same movie in an apartment building.
Oh,
it's
really?
just like people. It's like people in the first one all go to a movie theater, and then just like demons outbreak in the movie theater, and the whole movie is just them being like, "Fuck, let's get out of here." You know what I mean? And
that
the second one,
really cool.
Yeah, and then the second one's just in like a residential apartment building, and it's just like demons show up in this apartment building, and they're kind of like crazy, like kind of zombie-ish, but like fast. They just have like huge teeth, and they like eat people and stuff. And it's like people in makeup, you know, and it's just like shows you all the different characters and all the apartments, and then demons show up, and it's just everyone like, let's get out of this apartment building. You know what I mean? Like, that's like the whole movie. It's just like really simple, and it's just kind of like shit unfolding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really fun. It's solid. It's a fun watch for sure. Fun Halloween watch.
Cool. I'll say one more. I did happen to do my annual rewatch of E.T. Extraterrestrial.
Nice.
Dude, that's an underrated Halloween movie. It
Yeah,
takes
that's
place
true.
during Halloween. It's fucking fantastic.
It is a Halloween movie.
It's a
I
whole
never really thought about that.
It's a great Halloween movie, and I'm an advocate for pushing that for more watch this during Halloween time. It's great. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I was obsessed with it when I was a kid, and it still holds up. And I have the 4K. It looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, I have the 4K as well. I haven't watched it yet though.
Oh my god, dude.
I bet it looks incredible.
It looks fantastic. And what's really great is they got rid of all that like remastered shit.
Yeah, and it's just like OG.
It's OG 4K. You know, they got the fucking
walkie-talkies gone.
Yeah, that shit's gone. Yeah, nice. So no, and it's just the music is just so incredible. It's one of the best cinematic scores of all time, in my opinion. So anyway, E.T. fucking, it's a great Halloween watch. Watch it. They dress
it's a breakup from the spooky, you know?
Yeah, it's a breakup from the spooky, but you still get, there's a little bit of Seinfeld spooky. It's a different kind of spooky.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that wraps it up for what we've been watching, right?
Yeah. I don't really have anything else.
Let's get into non-spoilers for The Craft Legacy, starting now.
Okay. All right, let's do this. I know it feels fast, but it's nice, isn't it? To have a family unit.
Come on in to meet the boys. They're really excited to meet you.
How you feeling about school? You can meet some new friends.
I know why the caged bird sings.
Wow, that is super nasty.
All right, enough. Settle down.
Hey, it happens to everyone.
He's made us all cry at one point or another.
You should come over after school.
What is all this?
This is a ceremony to celebrate you.
Why would you celebrate me?
Because you're out fourth.
Just in time for first period.
fucking do it, bruv. Let's fucking do it proper.
That was from the trailer of The Craft Legacy. This a description from IMDb: a group of high school students from a coven of witches, form a coven of witches. A sequel to the 1996 film The Craft.
The Craft.
Zach and I both watched this movie today. We were under the weird assumption that this was on Netflix. I swore this was on Netflix. Yeah.
Then straight to the unwelcome awakening that it was a $20 rental.
Yeah. Yep. And we're like, oh, well, we had committed to this movie. Didn't know it was $20 rental.
Did not know that info.
We bit the bullet and split the price and watched it. Like good lads. We didn't steal it. But yeah, so we watched it today, mere hours ago. Zach, what are your non-spoiler thoughts?
Well, I gotta say, I was not a big fan of The Craft Legacy. I thought it kind of just didn't have anything to do with the craft or witches really at all. And it felt more like they were trying to make like a TV show, like almost like a CW style show out of it, you know. And I really just didn't really get it, honestly. Didn't really get the appeal.
Yeah, I was definitely disappointed. It leaned very heavy into the teen.
Yeah.
You know,
way too much.
It was very much just like a teen movie I think it was trying to sort of find a voice of this year and the youth of today, you know.
And it
very obviously
failed
trying to do
miserably. That. And
it was forced in that respect.
It felt like a committee of like 14 old white men trying to do that. Like, what are the kids like? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just like kind of like this weird like fake wokeness to it, you know, that like was not authentic.
To be fair, it was directed and co-written by a woman.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of that voice, but I know what you're saying. It felt very much like this is what all the kids are talking about.
Yeah.
You know?
Just like, I don't know, certain things, like direct references they make, and like even just the content, just like really unnecessary things to be touching on that you're like treating with like no real depth, but you're just kind of like tossing in your movie, and you're kind of like undercutting why these things should be present, but like they shouldn't be the focus in your witch movie. Like,
yeah, they totally took the focus. It was the focus of the movie.
Yeah. Like there's a certain character who like is bi in it, and it's like, how about like you just have a character that's bi and it's just like not a big deal and they're just like in the movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like why in this are we watching this like weird confession scene about this, and I'm like, where's the witch stuff? Like there's not a lot of witch stuff at all, really. Like it's kind of condensed into 2 montages to pop songs, like all the witch stuff. Like,
yeah, dude, that was the most disappointing thing for me is, and we're going to talk, obviously, you can't help but compare this to the original. It is a sequel.
Of course.
And I feel like it tried to be its own thing while also being like a remake and a sequel, and it sort of tried to do all too much, and it was like, it started off like replaying a lot of the like the same plot, which is fine, but then it started to do its own thing, also is fine, but it was just juggling all this stuff. And some of the best things that I feel like were from the original, if you're going to redo them, which they did, they replayed them. Don't montage over it, you know, like some of the best parts were seeing them like try and figure out the witchcraft and like doing the fucking craft. And it was sort of like it ended up being a movie about kids that just like happen to be witches instead of like
totally
the movie being about witches.
Yeah, it had really nothing to do with witches. I would say the like witchcraft angle takes up like a combined 15-minute like screen time.
Yeah.
And also I feel like I don't mind that like something like targeted, I guess, towards kids is like bringing up issues, you know what I mean? That's fine. Like I'm not like against these things being in movies, like
totally.
But it's just done in such like a performative false way that it's like almost like it feels like they're like earning points as the movie goes on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also I feel like in the original craft, like there were things that were like discussed in it, like each character kind of had something that was going on that like a viewer could relate to, that was like an issue that they were trying to bring up. It's like the girl has like burns and has these like self-image issues, and then like that is like a through line of her character that is involved in the witchcraft angle of the movie. But in this, it's like I don't know who any of these people are. Like it starts on the witches, and it's like, what are their names? They're all the same. They're only seen together. They're never seen alone. And I just really don't... They just like weren't... There was like... The main character was like the only character, pretty much.
Yeah, only character. I can tell you nothing about the other characters.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. They even like dressed pretty much the same. Like, it's
for
just
some
really
reason
weird.
There's no one who's goth. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like there's no goth kids. They're all just like Instagram kids.
Yeah, and there's just nothing to those characters. So that was disappointing.
It really wasn't. I will say though, the one person who was a character, played by Kaylee Spaten, I thought she was really great. I thought her acting was great. You know, like she's not in a great script or a great movie, but I've followed her work. I think she's very talented. I think
she was in Devs, right?
She was in Devs. And she was in Pacific Rim Uprising, where she was found, but she was also in the Hotel what is it fucking called? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I looked her up. It's the El Royale.
Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yeah, that was a fun movie.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. She's got been in some major films right off the bat, but no, I thought her acting was good, and I think she's talented, and she brought something to the role. But yeah, everyone else sort of felt like there's no connection to the other witches. Whereas in the original Craft movie, I felt like each of the witches had their own character.
Yeah,
and like, I got to know about each of them.
Yeah, and even if like their character is boiled down to like one thing they're overcoming, it's still something.
It's
like,
something.
They're the characters in this, they're always together. They're never seen apart. Mm-hmm. So like there's no way to even like have any identity to any of them because they're like a collective. You know what I mean? And I'm also just kind of sick of like having to this necessity to have a character that is the audience that you like follow through. It's like can this movie just start and there's 4 of them? Like I guess it's not a huge complaint, but like it just seems like I don't know, like we've seen again, people who are watching this have seen The Craft probably. They know how it works. They spend all this time talking about like we need this 4th member to complete because of the directions and the elements and all this stuff. And when does any of that exposition ever come into play the rest of the movie? You know what I mean? It's just kind of unnecessary.
Like, well, I won't say anymore, but they bring it back at the very end, but for something that's inconsequential, really.
Yeah, it's
it's
dumb.
Excuse me. Again, they started off as 3 trying to recruit the 1 because that's what the first movie did. So they're like trying to follow that and sort of make it like a remake, reboot. But then it goes off on its own completely different plot of something that we'll get into.
Just teen drama, basically.
Teen drama, but then like the actual bad guy or bad person, quote unquote, you know, is something that's very different. I don't know. Overall, I feel like it tried to juggle too much, and you were sort of left with like a mostly blank canvas that was trying to be woke and speak to the kids, and didn't focus on like what made the original movie so great, which was the witchcraft. I'm here to watch these
movie about
these
witches.
Kids, like witches doing witch stuff, like not.
And it's hard to it's hard to get into the witch stuff when there's some like generic pop song playing over it. You know what I mean? Like it's just like not the vibe. And I do think it was like dated in kind of a bad way, where there's like certain call outs and stuff where it's like you could choose any figure to call out right now, but you're calling out some modern person. Like there's that scene where he's like the one guy's like talking about Princess Nokia, and then her song plays. It's like, I love that she's an activist and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, Princess Nokia is cool. She has good music. She's cool. But like, what's with this weird name drop? Like, couldn't you have had this character be like bringing up some like old person that's like interconnected with like witchcraft or somehow connected to the themes of the movie that isn't gonna like be some like weird like hip name drop? It just felt very calculated. You know what I mean?
That wasn't the only name drop. The whole thing.
Totally.
There was another one with like Beyonce.
Yeah, and it's just like,
okay,
it's like, I guess she's like a huge star, but it's also just like, I don't know, like it's weird. It felt like a TV show. It felt like someone made a CW TV show and then edited like a supercut into 90 minutes. Yeah. Or into longer. It felt longer than 90 minutes, honestly. I was like, ooh, 94, okay. And I was like, damn, this thing's still going? Fuck.
So it's like, and also like, why are they doing witchcraft? Why? How did they find out their powers? Anyway, there's stuff we could definitely talk about in spoilers, so we'll leave it there. But just to wrap up our non-spoilers, I think we were both pretty disappointed, right?
Yeah, I did not care for it.
Yeah.
I will say, I did, when there wasn't sort of like weird pop music playing, I did like the score. I thought parts of the score were pretty cool. Like there were a few tracks that I was like, it's kind of a cool track. Like I don't mind this. There's some like weird atmospheric, like creaky, sort of like weird sound effects-y soundscape stuff, and I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. A lot of like vocal samples that I was like confused about at first, like I was like, is that the character? But then it like kind of picked up, and I was like, oh, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You know,
there's also some decent cinematography in some parts.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say like all the way through, but there and every now and again there's a couple good shots, and I still stand that I think Kaylee Spaney is still like a really good actress. Don't think that this was like probably the movie that she should have been in a better movie.
Yeah,
totally. what I mean. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we're going to move into our next segment.
Before you get into our spoiler segment, I'd like to interject to discuss that special deal from our sponsor again. For the listeners of the Listen to Us Rant About Movies podcast, Audible is offering a free audio book download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. To download your free audio book today, go to audibletrial.com/LTURAM. Again, that's audibletrial.com/LTURAM for your free audio book.
This is all just a little crazy.
Half the battle of having powers is believing you do. That's why covens have always been important.
If we can do that, what else can we do?
We need to put a spell on Timmy.
We don't want to hurt him though, right? She's right. The number one rule of the craft. If
a person is a danger to herself or others, they will be bound. I was starting to get a little worried. Sorry, I was just hanging out with my friends.
We've gone too far.
Was this just like some game to you?
Oh, no.
I feel different.
Be careful. A lot of weirdos out here.
We are the weirdos, mister.
All right, thanks, Ronnie, for introducing us to this segment here.
Hell yeah. Thanks, bud.
Mad respect.
Gotta
Appreciate
respect
it.
Ronnie over here. This guy. This fucking
Appreciate
guy.
This fucking guy.
Such a good guy, man. Love this
Such
guy.
a good guy, dude.
So, spoilers.
Okay, so I guess I'll just throw one out into the wind. The biggest one that comes to mind is David Duchovny's character.
Yeah.
Sort of being like a menaced, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Menaced as an opposite of feminist and wanting this power. And somehow knowing, I guess he tried to get with her quote unquote mom to like try and get to her so he could take her power.
Yeah, I don't know. I was pretty
It's really
checked out.
weird, dude.
Pretty checked out by the end, honestly. I was just like, yeah. And also the effects looked like shit. Like the shot where Michelle Monaghan
Oh my
transforms into
God.
David Duchovny
Was so bad.
so bad. Like
That was the worst shot of the movie. Yeah.
it was pretty bad. It's also just like clearly he's gonna be a villain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just also more like weird, like fake, like wokeism, artificial sort of feminist angle that really is doing nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like weird. I don't know. It's like trying to be this super progressive movie, but I feel like it almost like calls itself out at certain times. Like there's the one character's like, I wish I had more black friends when they're playing the game. And it's just like, is that a comment on like the fact that the entire cast is white? Because you know, like you didn't have to do that. You know what I mean?
You guys realize that you did that, right?
Yeah, and it's also like I get that can be like that's an issue for certain people, but also it's like you're not exploring that issue at all. You're just bringing it up in some weird thing where it's like, okay, well, like I don't know, you're trying to like bring in all these like angles and like different perspectives, which inherently isn't a bad thing, but you're doing it in this way that just feels so fake. It's just like because what is like I don't know. You just fight like it's feminist because they just fight an evil man. Like okay, you know, like,
a man that like wants to. He's the one line he says, "We are your conquerors, your kings." You know?
Yeah,
it's like clearly that's the I see what they're trying to do there, but why is I don't understand why it's like trying to do all this wokeness and trying to bring up these issues. Which is, it's fine if you want to make a movie about that. But
yeah,
it just felt like it was shoving all of these things into a movie that, like, wasn't that, Like,
yeah, it's like, if you're going to make a movie about witches, don't just make, like, a bad knockoff of Euphoria.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it seemed like it was, like, trying to, like, do that.
Yes.
And it was just, like, it was so out of touch. You know what I mean? And
well said. It was exactly kind of like trying to be like on the Euphoria train.
Yeah. And
which actually tackles issues in a really interesting and effective way.
Yeah, totally.
But that's what it's about.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed all
This movie's about witches.
Yeah, there's like nothing about witches in this movie. Like seriously, like almost nothing.
They just happen to have powers.
And they also don't make sense. Like I don't like she stops. And
they have like
time
better
the
powers.
One time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like okay, like maybe I don't know, because she stops time on her own. But then there's the montage right after. And then they like all do a spell together in the cafeteria and stop time again. And it's like, well, wait, she could just do it on her own before.
Right.
Like, why are they holding hands chanting in the lunchroom? like in
They
front of
never
everyone.
brought that up again. They never talked about that again.
So weird.
Why does she have more or better powers, you know?
Yeah.
Without doing spells. She just... And then, okay, this kind of reminds me of what sort of was probably one of my biggest issues was the movie's quote-unquote like turning point of being like, oh, these powers, we can't have them, was when she does like the little love spell thing that she does.
So stupid. Yeah.
And that's the thing that makes them go,
yeah,
oh, throw in the towel and, oh, now we're against you because we have to have this moment in a movie.
It's like earlier in the movie, they all were running up to this guy's house and they're like, isn't it like really serious to put a hex on someone? And like, don't worry about it. It'll just be like a fun hex or some shit like that. And it's just like, they're like so irresponsible. And then halfway through the movie, they're like, I can't believe you would do that. And I was just watching and I'm like, aren't they all in high school? Like, you know, like, what is this like weird responsibility? They're like, we gotta like be good with our powers. It's like, since when? You're all in fucking high school. Like, the girl literally looks around and shoots fire out of her finger and burns a locker. Like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Yeah, like that's some of the powers that they were just doing like better thing. Like the other movie that have like these crazy like actual powers, you know, like they couldn't shoot flames, and like stop the cafeteria in time, and you know they had these crazy things that they were doing. But
for
like,
what?
For what?
Yeah, it is bogus.
Just to show off, I guess.
Yeah, show off their awful effects budget.
But yeah, that was like the annoying thing for me. It was like, this. Okay, this is the turning point. Oh,
so dumb!
How dare you be irresponsible? You knew better. He was already under a hex.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well,
you made him kiss you. Oh,
yeah. And they're like, such irresponsible use of power. It's like, okay, well,
and then
since when?
And then this also doesn't make sense. After that they're like, we bind our powers away, we take away our powers, we give them away forever. Literally like 2 scenes later they come back and like rescue her and they have their powers.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. I think it gets lost. Like, I think it probably catered to like kids too much, honestly.
Way too much.
Like, it felt held back that it was PG-13, honestly. And then it's just, I don't know. It's like anything that you make for kids and the kids are a certain age, expect the audience to be that much younger. You know what I mean? It's like kids in high school aren't like always like turning towards the high school content. It's usually like younger kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just kind of wonder like who this movie's for. It's like, is this for like 11 or like 10 to like 14-year-olds? Or is this for people that just like the craft that are like in their 20s or 30s now? You know what I mean? Because that seems like who it's for. But that seems like the movie is made for. You know what I mean?
Right. I agree. And we have like a certain perspective on this movie because we've seen the first movie. And I'm really glad that I did, because honestly, if I hadn't, I told you this, I recently watched the first one for the first time.
Same here.
And okay, yeah, you did too. And if we hadn't watched that first one, honestly, I would have no fucking idea what this movie is.
Yeah, I would be like, oh, is the first one just like a weird drama that has nothing to do with witches? Like, it's like, no, it does. It actually has a lot to do with it. That's what the movie's about. It's witchcraft. Like,
but if you separate the original from this, like it can't even stand on its own legs, I don't think.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad. This is shit. This is shit movie. I did not like it.
Oh, man.
It just was like, I don't know. It's just boneheaded. It's like, who's this movie for? Who wants this? Who's watching this thing? People that don't, like, you should have made like a hard R witch movie. you know, and it can still be about kids in high school, but like it felt held back by being PG-13, and it also is just it's just catering to all this like teen drama that is just like not necessary.
It's like if you are making this for people who have watched the original, which you partly are, obviously.
Yeah.
Cater it towards that audience.
Yeah.
But instead it's catered towards an audience that has never seen the original movie.
Mm.
And so it just doesn't work because it tries to set up its own thing, you know, being like if you've never seen the original, this is how it happens. The three witches meet the one witch and then they form a coven and blah blah blah. And so you sort of just have this like mishmash of ideas, and anyway, it's a failure.
Yeah, it's really bad. I also have an issue with the whole storyline of the kid that kills himself. There's like he's like a huge bully,
murdered, quote unquote.
Murdered.
He's murdered.
It's like appropriating like teen suicide in a weird way, because it's like it like is trying to like deal with that on like a real level, you know what I mean? But it's really just like doesn't matter at all in the context, you know what I mean? Because they like bring it up and it's supposed to be like, oh, she has so much going on right now, but they give it about 30 seconds before they bring up the adoption thing, and then it's like, okay, so like now she's adopted and like you got to deal with that, and you're dealing with that in the sense of like her reaction to it, not the reaction of like what does that mean for the lineage and the witches and all that shit. It's like not about that in the movie, which is like, once again, okay, you're trying to do like character stuff, you're attempting, but she's the only one. You can't have like just like every scene have some weird thing thrown at her that she has to deal with, because then there's no space for the movie to even like be anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. I agree. Yeah. And I just circle back to the probably, if you're going to lay this all out, what are the biggest issues? Number one, I don't know anything about the other three witches.
Absolutely nothing.
Fucking nothing about them.
I knew that they were in a room in the opening scene, and I went, this is a really weird opening scene.
It was a weird opening scene.
Yeah, it felt like they had nowhere to put that in the movie. And then they just went, I don't know, dude, like the opening. It's like, okay, it's like a cold open on them just like laughing and just like hanging out. Like, okay, I don't know. Who are they? Like, I don't know.
I didn't buy for a second that any of those girls would be into witchcraft either.
No, totally not.
And they just happened to have this book called The Craft. Like, come on, like make it more about that, you know?
Yeah, and then they had to tie in the Farouja Balk cameo with the cut to black. Like clearly thinking they had a winner on their hands.
Yeah, thank you. To wrap this all up, let's bring it to the very end. So, like you said, she finds out who her mom is. She goes to the mental hospital, and she reveals who we obviously know who's going to be there. And oh, I'm your daughter. And then she like looks up, cut to black. Like that's some sort of like Marvel movie fucking cameo or some shit.
Like, okay, cool. Farouja Balk was in the movie for 5 seconds. Great. Glad she got. It's just like, well, I am glad my lingering thought of this movie is like, I'm glad Farouja Balk got a check. You know what I mean? It's like, what? It's
Dude,
so stupid. I don't know. It's just like so fake and false.
Yeah.
Like, and they try to tackle so many issues, but then when you like really break it down, like they're really not saying anything at all, or they're saying something negative. It's like, okay, so the kid who gets murdered or whatever, he's a bully, and then they give him a spell, and then he's super woke and like is very considerate and nice.
And he's like, you know, this amazingly attractive guy all of a sudden, right?
Yeah. And there's
he reveals a secret, he's bi, and oh man, this is crazy. We're going to talk about how
nothing ever comes of that. Yeah. No. And it's just like the only character in the movie to like react like positive change like has to be like given like a magic trick to do it. It's like I was totally expecting the brother or the stepbrother who he hooked up with or whatever to like come around and be like, you know what, like it is fine or whatever.
Right. Like,
and then it's just like
whatever.
Oh, never mind. That just like doesn't matter at all, and no one will change. You know what I mean? Like it just seemed like a weird conflicting like.
But then they sort of how they try and do that like prevent that from happening is like sort of David Duchovny's character is sort of like he's the strong power male that says no, that's weakness, and like that's what their angle is, you know.
Yeah.
Is to be like, oh, that's weakness, don't do that. But then it's weird because then they have the whole thing where they're having their little cult meeting or whatever, and then he allows them to like break down. Yeah, and it's like all about power, no weakness, but it's okay to show weakness right here. It's just like, what is this even about, dude?
Yeah, because it's like there's one thing where you're just like adding all this stuff in to like make a point about it if it's relevant, okay, but like you're adding all this stuff in and you're not, there's no result. I don't gain anything from it. Yeah. It's like, oh, you just brought up a bunch of shit I should have known already, okay. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like I don't know like what your angle is on this movie. Like what's the goal? I have no idea.
All right, well, what are you gonna rate it?
I'm gonna give it a 1. I did not like it.
Yeah, I've been struggling. I don't know, man. I'll go 1.5. I'll go 1.5.
Yeah.
Half goes to Kaylee because I like her a lot.
Yeah. My 1 is for the occasional weird score that was in there.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah.
Get some credit. I do like seeing David Duchovny. I was like, oh, this is nice, because I hadn't watched the trailer or anything, so I was like, oh shit.
Oh really?
Okay, yeah. But then I don't know, just kind of.
The trailer made it seem like a completely different movie.
Yeah, just took all the 5 witch scenes and just like cut them really fast together.
I was excited for the movie, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of was too,
because I saw the original and I watched the trailer and I was like, okay, cool. I didn't expect anything like spectacular, but I was like excited for like another fun sort of. Yeah, I thought it'd be like fun. Yeah, so really disappointed. I really wish I didn't spend that extra $5 just to purchase the movie.
Oh God, yeah. Boba.
Yeah, so
I wonder when you're gonna be playing that one again, dude.
Never. So for context, it was $5 more on Amazon Prime to buy the movie. So it's like $20. Zach and I split, we split the $20, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'll just pay an extra $5 and like buy the movie or whatever.
Yeah.
I was at $5 badly spent.
Yeah. You have a stain on your digital collection now.
I do.
A stain you can't remove unless you want to just throw $5 right in the trash.
Oh man, bummer.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to rub it in.
No, it's fine. It's literally $5 I can't get back.
Yeah, that was what I honestly, when it ended, I was like, well, bummer Wes bought that.
You're like, well, I'm glad this wasn't on my library.
It's really fun. I think I only have like 2 movies in my Amazon library, and one is Catch Me If You Can because my roommate bought it by accident, and the other one is Hellfest.
I have that one too. No, Catch Me If You Can was Catch Me If You Can. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Paying It Forward, which was one that was given up for free.
Nice. Really funny.
Yeah.
Get those free movies, baby.
Oh yeah. Anyway, that's it for this podcast. As always, you can find other episodes of this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts is no longer a thing. I'll change that. But Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and soon to be Amazon.
Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and if you enjoy the show, please consider leaving a review on iTunes, because every rating brings more listeners. You can email us at listentousrantaboutmovies@gmail.com. Take it away, Ronnie.
You too can be a producer and or supporter of this podcast by visiting our Patreon page and becoming a monthly patron for as little as $1. Visit www.patreon.com/LTURAM podcast.
All right. Thanks, Ronnie. Zach,
Thanks,
good talk
man.
as always.
Yeah, good chatting, man.
All right. Next time. Till next time.
Thanks for listening to this Listen to Us Rant About Movies podcast episode. Goodbye, and I will see you again on the next show.